Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to analyze artwork. We are going to be doing that by utilizing the principles of design and the elements of art. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take one from each column and use the two of them to describe what you're seeing in the artwork. So therefore, if I took both of the top ones there, I might look to see if there is balance in the texture of the artwork. So perhaps maybe the art has a couple of different types of texture and there's not one that is more dominant than the other. So let's try to put this into practice. We're going to take a look at a couple of pieces. We're going to start out with Milton Glazer's album cover for Bob Dylan here. So the thing that sticks out the most to me is the movement right there in the hair. So that's the principle that I want to use, and I'm going to say, what is causing that movement? And in this case, I'm going to say line. The line that you follow through his hair is causing your eye to move from the center of the piece to the upper right hand side, I would say typically, or really to move all around the piece. So I'm going to take both of those pieces and then explain why and what it's doing. So I would say that the line is creating movement because it causes my eye to move from the center of the piece first to the upper right hand corner and then move about the piece. So even though it's not physically a moving piece, it does create this idea of motion in there. Let's take a look at another example. So here in this piece, I'm going to take a look at that, and to me, the white stands out the most because it's so much brighter. Now this is a good example because people normally get it confused with color. So what I'm going to say is that there is dominance because anytime something stands out, you'll want to use the word dominance. So I'm going to say there's dominance in value. A lot of people might want to say there's dominance in color, but it's not the color that's standing out, it's the brightness of the white. So whenever you use the words bright or dark, you're really talking about value and not about color. So look for those words to come out of your mouth, and if they do, then you want to be talking about value. So here I would say that there is dominance in value because of the way that the whites stand out in the piece and cause my eye to go directly to that portion of the artwork. This is Paula Scher. She's a famous graphic designer. So here, if I take a look at this, I'm going to probably say that there is rhythm in shape because of the way that the lines of the words repeat. I could also say that there is dominance in shape because where it says public for the Public Theater logo, it sticks out a little bit more because it's so much bigger. And so because my eye is drawn directly to that, or I could even say there's dominance in value again, because the white of his shirt really creates a spot where my eye goes directly to. Lastly, let's take a look here at Lichtenstein's work. What I'd probably have to say about this would be one of the first things that come to mind is that it does create dominance in, you could either say color or value because actually in this case I would say color because the white is just as bright as the yellow, but I feel like the yellow in the piece stands out more. So I could use dominance for that. I could also say that there's dominance in texture because her skin is the only place where you see that dotted effect, and that kind of forces your eye to go to the areas where her skin is. I could also say that there's a variety in color as we're looking at a few different colors there, the primary colors specifically, red, yellow, and blue. I could argue that there is rhythm and shape. If I look in the buildings in the back, I can see that the windows are repeating, creating a bit of a rhythm. I could argue that there is balance in space because she is taking up the left-hand side of the piece, but there is a lot of background artwork that is allowing your eye to move over to the other side too and not just stick on that left side. So these are a couple of examples of how you guys can analyze artwork. It takes some getting used to, so go ahead and put yourself out there and be brave. And that's it.